Hey everyone, this is my homemade outdoor wood boiler. It is currently heating my house. If you're interested in how to build your own, I'm going to do a walk around and kind of show you all the bits and pieces that I did and how it's put together so that if you want to build one, you'll have a little more information. So I'll start off by saying that this unit is not done. I'm still working on it, but it is functional and it's heating the house. Last night I got about 13 hours on a load of wood and there still was 2 or 3 half-burnt logs in there. I probably could have went a couple more hours. And I think insulation will dramatically help the situation and I'll be able to get even more burn time. I guess we'll start off by, before I open the door here, I've got this fan that I mounted up and built this little channel to try to catch the smoke. It definitely helps, but I think ideally I might need a little bit more of a shroud that comes down and pulls the smoke that's rolling out of the front of the door. I also want to mention that I did not build this completely from scratch. I bought it. It is a homemade unit, but I bought the burn chamber, the door, and the water jacket already assembled, and I just worked on building out the frame, the insulation jacket, redoing the stoke fan, the electrical, and redoing the stack here. Also, we'll do a follow-up video when I get this thing fully buttoned up with insulation, but just before I cover everything up, I wanted to do a video because this way you can actually see the important stuff on how it works. So it's kind of hard to see, but the door latch is a pretty simple setup. See, it's just a bent piece of threaded rod that hooks down in a hole down there, and it's cammed right here so that I can release the tension and lift this guy up out. Before I open this fully, I will turn on my exhaust fan up top. So now this old furnace fan is on. I'm going to open up my electrical box and shut off power to the stoke fan. Even though the stoke fan is not running, I don't want it to kick on while the door is open. Got some wood falling. So I've noticed that a lot of times it looks like the fire's pretty much out. Everything's just black. There's not many coals, but that's because it does such a good job choking everything down. The damper and stoke fan on the front. And if you open the door up right after the stoke fan was just running, those coals are red hot. So it's going to be really hard to see, but the inside of the burn chamber is got a corrugated top to it. And the back side of the burn chamber right there is like a big V. And that bottom right down there, that bottom little opening is where the smoke has to travel down, back, and then up and out the chimney. So the smoke on its way out hits this big piece of steel, and there's water right on the back side. So that's part of what makes this an efficient setup. I'm going to close the door so I don't get totally smoked out. But here's the door setup, the hinges. Again, I didn't build this. The guys that did it did a pretty good job though. My electrical box is not done, but it's just mounted here. This is my incoming power, and off that incoming power, I run power out to my pump. Eventually, this power going over to my pump will be on a switch, but right now, it's just directly wired in to where if the main power is on, the pump is running. And then I run power over to my temperature control unit. This is a really simple thing to program. You just set your set point, which I have it set at 150 degrees right now. And I think the water pickup is in a much hotter spot than where the temperature probe is. But I think the temperature making it into the heat exchanger inside the house is much hotter than that. And then this is the switch that controls the power making it down to my stoke fan. I'm not going to pull the cover off to show you the stoke fan. Basically, it's just a little fan, and there's a rubber dampener with a solenoid on top. Fan blows air through the door, and it's important that that fan is not just an open fan. Having a solenoid on top that drops a rubber damper valve on top of that fan to completely choke off the oxygen is really important to make sure the fire can shut itself down when the water's up to temperature. This frame on these nice big legs with these big round steel feet, and then I welded on the framing across the bottom and the rest of the framing for the pole barn steel. So pole barn steel will get wrapped across right here. Pole barn steel will be a square, but then these pieces right here, these posts right here, are where the insulation will get tucked between here and the water jacket and wrap their way around. There'll be a double layer of 6-inch mineral wool insulation up top. Coming off the electrical box right here is where my temperature probe is set at. It's right next to the pickups, but the pickups run and they go directly above the back part of the burn chamber, right above where this chimney's coming out. I still need to build a bottom cap for this chimney. I've got this vent pipe on top that's open to the atmosphere just in case something happens and it boils over. I'm gonna take this cap off and put a longer pipe here so that I'll have 2 vent pipes just in case for whatever reason, if the water gets really hot, this thing doesn't turn into a bomb. Right here is just an open pipe on the inside, and this is my sight glass to check the water level. These 2 are my returns. One of them goes about a foot in the boiler. One of them goes about 3 or 4 feet. I figured ideally I'll be running the barn over there and the house off this boiler, so I'll have 2 loops. And I figured it'd be good to have, you'd get a little better circulation to have one of your returns pushing water all the way at the back and the other one pushing it kind of right down here. Both of these pickups, I'm not going to pull this tarp off because it's snowy and I don't want to get my pump wet. But both of these pickup pipes are 1-inch black pipe that run, and like I said, they're 3 foot long and they run all the way into the middle of the boiler, and they're right above the back of the burn chamber. It seems to be working really well. I'm just getting it set up. It's barely smoking at all. It really doesn't smoke much at all. It smokes when the stoke fan kicks on. Is probably at the worst point when it smokes, but after the fire, a couple minutes after the stoke fan kicks on, the fire's really hot, and it no longer smokes because the fire is so hot. All this framing here is for the insulation. There's no insulation in the door here, but my plan is basically, you can see I've got it framed out to where mineral wool insulation will get wrapped up in here, and then there'll be pole barn steel on the outside to hold it. It's actually going to call for heat right now when I turn the switch back on, and so the stoke fan will kick on and you can see how much smoke comes out. So you can see there's a little puff of smoke right when it kicks on. Head to the basement and I'll show you the setup in the basement. So here's my pump. It comes out, there's a shutoff valve up top, there's the pump, and then I actually have 2 of these Y strainers filtering out material. And then I have a shutoff valve, and we go to my 1-inch PEX-A tubing. Return comes in right here and it does a loop, and both of these guys run through this board just for a little support. So rather than spending a bunch of money for the insulated PEX, right now it's just running across the ground, and I'm going to build a little temporary above ground insulated channel for it, but it just runs across and runs into a house. And I know it seems terribly inefficient to not have any insulation and to have this that PEX just running across the ground, but I made it 12.5 hours last night with a setup just like that, and it was cold and windy. It was down around 20 degrees. So I'm excited to see how efficient it'll be with the insulation. All right, I'm gonna try to talk kind of quiet because the baby is sleeping upstairs. Where my water lines come in, and I wanted both of them to be this length, but this one I almost cut too short, so it's basically making a direct run. And we come over to here. This is my supply here. This is my return. This heat exchanger is 3 layers high, and it runs all the way back to the back of the plenum here. And all I did is I cut out a rectangle on the front of the plenum, and I had 2 little pieces of aluminum angle iron. I slid them in here on the inside, so they are screwed to the side, and then they make like a little shelf that sticks out about 1 inch, and just use self-tapper screws to hold everything together. And then this thing just slides in kind of like a drawer. And then I also, it was hard, this plenum's a goofy size. It was hard to find a heat exchanger to fit it perfectly, so I found one that fit the width, but it doesn't quite fit the length, so it sticks out a little bit, and I just use this furnace duct tape to hold everything, to kind of seal everything off. This thing is very warm. It's almost too hot to the touch. And it really does a good job heating the house. I had to build a little bit of framing, I suppose, to hold these lines, because even these PEX A lines, especially when there's no warm water in them, they're very, very stiff. And they're a pain in the butt to work with. So I built these and some strapping to kind of hold everything solid, so it's not putting too much force on the heat exchanger here. This is a drain, so you can hook a hose up here, open this valve, and shut these water lines off with the ball valves at the boiler. And then if you hook a hose up here, I can run it over to my sump in the corner of the basement and open up this valve, and it'll drain out all the water in the heat exchanger and lines, the water lines running down. And the last bit that I did is, right now my furnace is not even functional. It's a working furnace, but what I did is the white wire on your thermostat, coming from your thermostat, is the wire that calls for heat, and the green wire is, double check the wire diagram, but I believe this is correct. The green wire is the wire that gets voltage when it calls to turn just the fan on. And so all I did is I disconnected that green wire. I took the white wire call for heat, which is the call for heat wire, and I stuck it in the green wire spot, so that when the thermostat calls for heat, rather than the furnace firing up like normal, it just supplies voltage to the turn the fan on port on the board on the front of the furnace. So then the fan just kicks on and it blows air past this heat exchanger and all throughout the house. That pump is always running outside, so this is always hot. There's a constant stream of water constantly going through here. So the only thing that shuts on and off is the stoke fan on the boiler unit. It kicks on and off based on the temperature of the water. So the boiler is kind of a self-sustaining thing that constantly pumps water through here, and the fan kicks on based off a call from the thermostat. And we have a smart thermostat, so I can control it from my phone or set schedules. It works all just the same. You wouldn't know it's any different than just running a furnace. Next thing is I'll run water lines over and hook up my hot water heater. Wow, don't say that. You'll make a lot of HVAC guys upset. I'll hook it up to my water heater. You don't need a hot water heater if you already have hot water, so it's just a water heater. But I will heat this with the same water as well, and eventually when I get the shot finished, I'll heat that as well. So if you got any questions about this setup, let me know. I haven't been using it but a week, but I'm very happy with it. I think it's really cool to be able to have a self-sustaining fire outside that I can get 12, 14-hour burns with. I just got to load it up once or twice a day, and it's really not that much wood, and I don't have to split it down at all. I can just throw big rounds in there, which is super easy. I'm heating my house with water, with warm water coming from a self-sustaining system outside. I just think it's so cool. So if you got any questions, drop them in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer and help you out. Thanks for watching. Bye.